Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. So first, we would like to thank Pace University, EM Lyon Business School, and Zhejiang University for this program and giving us the opportunity to present to you today our project. This is Colleen, Peng Peng, Lexi, Cindy, and Liam, and I'm Mizel. We are the team Baby Goat, and today we are here to present to you our project named Kawa. So, when we first started our research on having an idea to work on, we focused on the food industry, and we realized coffee market was huge in the US. It's actually worth $5 billion. And then we were wondering, so what issue could we address in this very specific market? And we led our research and highlighted the fact that late night workers and commuters need good coffee for less money and less time as well. So for that reason, we decided to implement coffee vending machine that we would supply. So we would be first implement the coffee vending machine and would be the exclusive supplier for all the products used in it. We would start on the New York City because this class was about implementing in the US. So we first start with New York and then expand to a national level because our idea is scalable and actually target transportation sites, so public and private sectors. Our value proposition is to offer affordable 24/7 available coffee, fresh and good quality. So it would be cheaper as well. Not too cheap, not too high quality, but we would provide it 24/7, and we would operate as a B2B company, working in collaboration with public organism and as well as private firms, so very big corporations, offices. And we will also make revenue thanks to advertisement space because our very well-designed coffee machines will have this big screen, so it's a technology used in Japan today already, and you can rent this space for advertisement. So in order to lead this project, we had this implementation stage that our professor talked about. So we had 3 different steps in this stage. So first, we had to validate our customers. Who are they? What they need? What they want? So we went to Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the Queens, and we did several interviews, 47 in total, and went to Penn Station as well because we are targeting commuters. We also went to Times Square because in Penn Station we met some issues talking to our potential customers due to the legal aspect. The fact is we talked to policemen and it was not possible for us to implement our small coffee stand we prepared, especially for this implementation stage. So we moved to Times Square and had the chance to talk with many people from different social classes that gave us a better understanding of the need of our customers. But then we had also to validate our suppliers, and that's why we contacted Chinese companies because part of most of our team actually is Chinese and have good contact with suppliers for both the machines and the product. Because as you may know, coffee comes mostly from Brazil, Colombia, but there's also coffee in Asian countries as well, and China has a very good coffee, I would say. And just to finish, we needed to validate the location. So you're gonna see in this presentation, location was the biggest issue we had to face due to all the legislation and requirements from both the city and even for private actors. We went to Grand Central Terminal and we had the chance to speak with the manager in charge of retail spaces in Grand Central, and we also went to World Trade Center to get feedback on other touristic sites that would be our potential location.
So regarding the research report that we've been through, we focused exactly on what said Mizel. The problem was the location actually that we struggle with and the regulation that we has to deal with. The first thing is that we remark is that we need to get a license, obviously, to implement our coffee machine in New York City, and also we have a regulation regarding the the location side, we were focusing on subway train station.
Talking about the lease requirement, we really wanted to know what it costs to rent a public space in the city and how long does it take, because even if there's some availabilities, it's very demanding in terms of time and money because it takes a while. So actually to get this space, you need to make a bid, and then there's going to be a public auction during which the highest bid is going to be chosen in order for the lease. So it's very tricky for small companies like small businesses, and that really we had to adapt according to those findings on, is it very interesting for us to implement in New York at first, or should we focus on more rural or smaller urban areas so we could actually then go to bigger cities, because the competition is really hard for those places. And regarding transportation sites, we also discussed with the MTA. So MTA, it's the food and drink regulations regarding ATA is common to private and public sectors because it's also managed by the departments of health as well. They work together hand in hand, and but they underline the same as we said before, the fact that we need our coffee vending machine to be in a very safe and sanitary place. So when we first thought about our product, we're like, this is great, we're gonna implement it in subway station because this is a great market, and in Europe you can actually find those vending machines in subway stations. But at the end, our findings show that we can't actually put our vending machine there.
The second sector we think about is private sector, and as the students are going to be our target customers, we focus on schools and college and universities as our second private sectors. For schools, because they have students of different age, and of course they have to follow the education law. Also, schools have their special meal plan, so that means if the coffee we offer cannot be a direct competitor with their meal plan. And also the USDA prohibits caffeine in students below high school. So, but for New York City as an exception, they allow it. For college and universities, as we are contacting our own school PACE, and they have the non-competition regulation contract with Starbucks, which doesn't allow coffee vending machine to compete with Starbucks. So some of the regulations in college and university propose an obstacle for us to implement our coffee machine in schools and college universities.
We found many resources. Here we only present a few. This is a meetup group in New York related with coffee, so we can hang out with our customers and learn more about them. We found some coffee classes and a training center in New York to make us professional. We found 3 companies to cooperate with, or we can learn from them. Canteen is a famous US vending machine. Pelican Rock is a vending machine focused on coffee. Fuji, as we know, Japan is advanced in vending machine. Fuji is the best in Japan. We have 2 news here. This is related with coffee. This is vending machine. We know that regulations are very important for us, so we have licenses, regulations for our coffee vending machine issued by New York government.
We met Germain Châtel, who's the CEO of Nutanix, and so he's a French entrepreneur who implemented a business in the US. And basically Nutanix is a platform where companies and so big corporation rent very specialized people brain. So it's kind of an Airbnb where you pay per hour for the brain and the knowledge of someone, and it's very for very specific task, I would say. And what was really interesting for us is, as foreigners, first, why implementing a business in the US? What are the biggest hardship he went through? And actually, it was not the administrative part, but what he said. First, he underlined the importance of getting the right partner. That was a key point of this interview. The fact that even though he had the entrepreneurial mindset, he would have never launched it alone, because his partner is very complementary in terms of skills. But it also say that for very small companies like them, so there are 10 today, when one of the partner or one of the employee leaves a company for holiday or special event, it's very hard to be as efficient as usual because they all have very specific skills and it's very hard to replace it. So that was the key message, and the fact that even though it's really hard and scary to launch a business at first, you have to do it because it's very rewarding, and he underlined the fact that he would never go back to corporate life, and that it was very risk adverse what he said. He underlined it many times, but still he launched his company, and we thought that it was very impressive. So now we're gonna see the feedback of all of us regarding this GEP and what we learned from it. If that works.
My name is Poppy. I spent 363 days with my classmates. Almost every week I can hear new ideas from them. We went to 3 countries together. I learned design thinking in France. I learned how to introduce the product China to my friends. I learned how to implement in US. We have 11 nationalities. Due to the 6 degrees of separation, we can do business to the whole world. We had 25 courses, 21 groups, more than 100 meetings. We had fight, we had fun. Now we know how to deal with different groups. Everyone has at least 6 projects. Everyone has their own passion, and we share the same direction. Most importantly, we can't become an entrepreneur without friends. Now I have 41 best friends and will be forever. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lim. There is a guy said, the best view always out of your comfortable room. That guy is me. Yeah, like in Sahara. I take the picture in Sahara Desert. 1 year before, one day I think I used to be an entrepreneur. One day I think I need to jump out my comfortable room. I want to set up a new career. So what should I do? So I went to Zhejiang University, joined this GEP program. I don't know, at that time, I don't know the idea is good or not. But after 1 year, I think it's totally worth it. The GEP program teach me 2 important things. One, you must encourage yourself to take the challenge. Challenge always give you a lot of new things. Those new things can make you be better, make you stronger, and get your dream near to you, and you will reach the goal. And another thing is whatever you want to be a social entrepreneur or want to make a huge profit business, the important thing is innovation. All professor and all class teach me a lot of things. So I have a full confidence to face my future business and study. I believe one day I can stay this line. Thank you very much.
Sorry, this is supposed to be a GIF, a moving picture. So this picture, when it moves, you will see I don't know what is happening, but I will depict that. So this is a running dog, and when he runs, he opens his eyes very widely, and then he smiles. And when he lands, he closes his eyes. So it's like this picture is one of my favorite picture, and it depicts the learning from this GEP journey. That we have to keep running forward, and sometimes we can see a lot of things, and we open our horizon when we run. But sometimes we close our eyes and we feel, and we let the guts and our instinct lead us. And the most important thing is that we run and we do not stop. This is what I've learned from this whole year. So, thank you.
The next one is my own brand related to the infant daily chemicals products, which I built it in 3 years ago, and all the producing processes and the R&D task was all finished in Lyon. And for me, I think it's not very easy for a Chinese girl to run a startup in France, because I don't speak French except bonjour, and and also for me, I joined the GP, so the time for me is really a problem for me. At the first phase, we studied in Lyon, so I studied while I do the business. But now my first batch of the products is underway, shipping to China. I think I learned that I always believe that to solve the problem, there's always more than one way. That's what I learned.
Here I am again. So I focus on my blog to this sentence that's resuming what Professor Bruce said before, said earlier. I think that this really gives us the key to better understand how to start a business, and the way of thinking can be completely different, and start with the resources that we have, the actual one, and not looking at what we could have and what we don't have. And the thing is that from the personal point of view, I would say that looking at what we've done and what we've been through from during the whole year was really grateful, and the personalities changed a lot regarding each of the members, and I would highlight that here we are friends, and I would keep you as partner in the future.
So just to finish quickly, for me this GEP was really a bet. A year ago I was ending my bachelor in translation and international relations, which has nothing to do with entrepreneurship, but then I started to feel I wanted to create my own business. So you all know I want to launch a fashion brand, and at first I think it was a dream, but now the GEP comes to an end a year later, and I feel it's way more than a dream. It's going to be a project, and I really aim to launch it. I'm very grateful for the network that this free school provided us. It was incredible talking with so successful entrepreneurs, and I'm really eager to work with some of them. And yeah, it was a very, from a personal perspective, it was very grateful as well. And what I like in this program, it makes you very multitask, and you're able to work in multicultural environments with people from all over the world, and it just makes me feel that now I'm capable of doing it, and thank you for that.